Hello and Namaskar. I'm Preeti Prakash. So, as we talk of West Asia, which is a very burning topic these days, as we talk, I'll just give you a background. So, the first round of talks, which were held in Islamabad on the April 11th and 12th between US and Iran, have failed. They have been inconsequential. The second round of talks again were to be held in Islamabad during these days around 22nd, but Iran has refused to attend the talks. And so there is a stalemate, which where the US is also wondering whether it would come there to talk and to talk to whom. So the conditions laid by Iran for the talks with US were that the US needs to remove the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz in order to talk to US, which has clearly not been addressed till yet by the US. The US forces and the US Navy are still in the Strait of Hormuz blocking the way. Now Trump has extended the ceasefire, which was to expire on the 22nd of April. The US had demanded Iran to surrender all its enriched uranium and not have nuclear capability for around 20 years' time. So, which the Iranian side did not agree. And that brings us to the issue of the use of capabilities these particular countries have in the domain of whether it be nuclear or whether it be chemical, biological, radiological. So today, let's decode the possibility of the use of CBRN in this war between Israel, Iran, and US. The possibility of which cannot be ruled out. So today, to talk on this, I have a very special guest joining me from Netherlands. He's a CBRN expert, Dr. Ram Athavle. He's the author of the book called Toxic Portents, which is based on CBRN. And he's worked with EU on as a key expert on CBRN. Welcome, Dr. Athavle.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Okay, so my first question to you, Dr. Thavle, would be that with both the rounds of talks having failed between the US and Iran, the issue of uranium and on the issue of uranium and nuclear capabilities, and the US blockade in the Strait of Hormuz continues, the war possibility from here on also escalating. How do you think it's going to pan out?
Technically, the second round has not yet failed because they're waiting for the evening today. In case there are any developments or any uh, positive overtures by either of the participants. But it doesn't seem likely because just about 2 hours ago, the Iranians have again fired upon a couple of ships in the Strait of Hormuz, citing the maintenance of law and order within the strait as per international norms. And so, this kind of exchange of fire is actually detrimental to even thinking of having talks. Both sides have been very belligerent, making statements that the war is going to start and we are going to bomb and we are going to do this. And the Iranians have also been saying that we have got much more better cards with us to play in case the war continues. So, keeping that in mind, I don't think that the talks are going to be successful. And the belligerents are going to probably get back at fighting each other. To my mind, the Iranians have still got a lot of cards up their sleeve. And despite all the damage and destruction and the loss of lives that have happened, the nationalist feeling actually has got entrenched more strongly, and therefore I think they would be able to fight back and cause a lot of destruction on the other sides. The main bone of contention here is the kind of aim with which different countries have gone into this war. For example, the Israelis went into this war, I think, just to destroy Iran. They don't want the Iranians to have their nuclear capabilities. They don't want the Iranians to support the proxy groups of Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, and so on. And they don't want the Iranians to be a power within the Mediterranean region or the Gulf region. As far as the US is concerned, I think they have got some different aims. The first is to ensure that the Strait of Hormuz is controlled by them. And the second aim, which didn't happen, was to have a swift change of regime in Iran, where they failed in the first round at least. And Iranians have continued with sound leadership all throughout. And I think that aim was also connected to the control of all the oil in Iran, which has not happened. So the economic aims have not materialized. To a large extent, the military aims have also not materialized. So I think there is still a lot to be seen in this war in the days to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are also reports, Dr. Thavle, that Iran's nuclear weapon capability has been severely degraded. And this is what the US has, President Trump has been every day kind of tweeting and there on social media saying that we've destroyed the Navy, it's under the seabed, all there, we've destroyed all their Air Force, we've destroyed so many, everything of Iran's. But as far as the nuclear weapon capability of Iran is concerned, what do you think? I mean, how is it true that it must have been degraded or destroyed or something?
Uh, Going by the way the Iranians have played their cards till now, despite the attacks or the curtailment of enrichment processes since 2015, when they went into the joint comprehensive agreement, and then the attacks by US and Israel last year, that is 2025 June, where they attacked a lot of Iranian known or estimated nuclear facilities like in Natanz and in Fordo. But the Iranians have continued to say that our requirement, our need, and our ambition to work on the nuclear field continues. At the same time, the Iranians have also been saying consistently that we are not interested in nuclear weapons. But the way the things are going, the world is literally pushing them to make nuclear weapons or to develop nuclear weapons. And to that extent, Iran has got one trump card up their sleeve, that they have got enrichment facilities at about 3 or 4 places in their country, which are the known places. There may be more which are unknown. And therefore, I feel that despite the attacks last year and the attacks this year targeted specifically on the nuclear capabilities, when I say nuclear capabilities, it is basically the enrichment plants and the missile sites where the launchers for these nuclear weapons could be stored or could be deployed. Now, targeting all these places has caused a lot of destruction on the surface. Uh, but it is also known that Iran has dug deep into the ground. Uh, in the Pickaxe mountain area, especially in the central Iran, they have made tunnels in Isfahan. They have had a huge tunnel network which has been developed even at Fordo. Natanz also had a tunnel network, which according to the Americans, they have destroyed that and they have been able to stall any further development in that area. However, how deep the tunnel goes is not known. And the American munitions or Israeli munitions may not have reached the depth where actual work is going on. So it may be very difficult to really say whether there has been a degradation. I think there has not been substantial degradation, especially for the enrichment processes. And knowing over the last 2, 3 years the type of attacks that Iran is expecting, they would have entrenched themselves much deeper and probably secretly at other places which are not yet known. And therefore, they may have continued to develop enrichment processes and missile sites at other places. To add to all this, they have continued support of China, Russia, maybe North Korea. Uh, Initially, when their program started, they had support from Pakistan. And so, therefore, because even the IAEA has gone on record to say that they have found equipment imported by Iran from Pakistan and China, which had traces of radioactivity. So there is a lot of collusion which is there. There's a lot of uh, support which is there from these other countries. And prior to the current hostilities starting off, about 3-4 months in advance, there was reported to be multiple large military aircraft flights coming in into Iran, both from China and Russia. So it is hoped that a whole lot of support, equipment, ammunition, technical support is all there. Russia had almost 700 people working at the Bushehr nuclear power plant. That is the main nuclear power plant which Iran has, and that is purely for producing energy. So, after the start of the current hostilities, Russia has downgraded their number of technicians there from 700 to 20, which is a sizable downgradation, seeing the kind of strikes that are happening. But I still feel that Iran has got a sizable amount of capability as far as nuclear enrichment is concerned, and they would be able to develop weapons if required.
And as it is it's said by so many that, Iran has been preparing since many years. They always anticipated that this day would someday come, particularly with
Yeah.
animosity, with hostilities with Israel, and then
Yes.
Israel and US. So
Just to
I'm
add
sure they
to
must
just
have
to add to
prepared.
that,
Yeah.
just to add to that, last year and the year before that, the Iranians had threatened that if you attack our bases, if you try and curtail our nuclear uh, power ambitions, because the deal with the Iranians had with the Americans and the three EU countries had been scuttled by the Americans in 2018. And because of that, the Iranians had got quite upset, and they had started enriching their uranium till 63%, which is beyond the requirement, because the capping was supposed to be under 5%, that is 3.6% or something like that. But they had raised it to 63%. Now, when you start enriching it like that, you are nearing the weapons grade enrichment, which would be beyond 85 or 90%. And therefore, the threat which the Iranians were trying to convey was that, look, we have the capability and we have the will to enrich it beyond to weapons grade. They did not do it officially, at least what the IAEA confirmed, but they have the capability. So I'm sure, realizing the kind of threat that they are facing from present two adversaries, both Israel and the US, both of which are nuclear powers, uh, I don't think Iran would have let go their nuclear capabilities, and that is one of the biggest sticking point in the talks also which were going on, and which the present talks also which are stalled have got this as the main point, that you will not ask us to curtail our nuclear program and nuclear enrichment capability.
But still, they had agreed in the first the 10-point program given by the US, which they didn't agree to, but they got it down to 5, in which I think they did say that, okay, we will curtail a little of our
But that was 5 years.
5 years,
That
yes.
we will not
5 years. Yeah,
do any enrichment till 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah, which the Americans wanted 20.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was the point.
So, moving on, Israel, generally maintains a deliberate ambiguity over its nuclear arsenal. And Iran also, on the other hand, insists that their nuclear program is generally for peaceful and civilian purposes. So, there's an absence of transparency here. How credible are the intelligence assessments? I'm sure there are a lot of intelligence that goes on in both these cases
Yeah.
about the CBRN capabilities. How credible are they, and how does this ambiguity increase the size of the miscalculation in the
Okay. Now, as far as Israel goes, Israel nuclear capability has been pitched somewhere between 100 to 50 to 100 warheads, and some reports it goes right up till 200. So they are pretty capable with a credible deterrence capability, I would say, or the second strike capability. So therefore, their nuclear capability is quite established. Their series of Jericho 1 and 2 level of missiles have got the capability of firing nuclear warheads. So whether it is the launching or it is the warhead capability, both capabilities exist with Israel. As far as the Iranians are concerned, they have missile systems which can take in warheads of conventional as well as nuclear. They don't have officially declared nuclear capability. But going by the way they have been saber rattling, uh, they may have already got designs and the methods to develop warheads in house if required. So I would say, as of now, it is a very matched kind of a thing. While Israel has ready weapons, Iran may take a little time to develop those weapons if required, and use them. As far as actual use is concerned, I don't see either side using nuclear weapons, whether it is the Israelis or Americans or Iran trying to develop and then trying to use it. Even if they are pushed to the wall, it will take some time for them, maybe a year or 2 years, to actually develop a warhead and get that kind of capability. At the same time, with their links with other countries, uh, it may well be possible for them to get a nuclear weapon from somewhere, which is highly possible. There have been deals in the past between some other countries where sharing of nuclear weapons was already on the cards. So I would not put it past the Iranians to have established that kind of linkages, clandestine, to be able to get such weapons. But I don't think in the present conflict or in the near future there is a likelihood of use of nuclear weapons. But there are possibilities of other kinds of weapon systems, CBRN weapon systems, which
can
can
happen.
happen.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah,
Yeah. But seeing the kind of person Trump is, the world is saying erratic, lunatic and whatever. And even as Netanyahu is, Netanyahu is very eager to kind of just crush Iran, and Trump is playing to the cards. So there is sometimes that you get that sense that you never know, they, in that desperation, they might just use their nukes, which Iran, you are saying, will take some time to develop. Maybe it is developing, maybe it still has. But how do you see this? Is it practical? Like you just said that this war will at least not see any new thing.
no, I think the rhetoric which is being built up or the saber rattling which is being done is more for putting pressure on each other. And I don't think there are any chances of use of nuclear weapons during this conflict. Uh, because whatever said and done, the amount of hype and the amount of noise or media noise that is getting created, uh, I think that is more playing to the gallery to get the pressure being built up, not just between the adversaries, but even internationally or globally, getting pressure from other countries to, these countries to quieten down and, sit and talk and negotiate and things like that.
But Trump is, if I can
So
just,
I think that
yeah,
is not possible.
okay. But Trump is tweeting himself. It's not somebody else who's tweeted. And every morning and evening that he tweets is like one step ahead of the other one. Like I'm going to finish Iran, then next time I'm going to finish there, whatever, whatever. So that's what I said. The kind of person Trump is. Yeah, of course, I agree with you that other countries will surely play their role in getting them down. But Trump is a little erratic kind of a person to, I mean, think of doing anything for that matter.
I think that is all part of the show.
Sure. Okay.
I think that is all part of the show. Uh, as far as nuclear weapons are concerned, to my mind, the best use of nuclear weapons is not to use them.
Yeah.
That is that kind of deterrence that, look, I have it, I have the will, I have the capability to use these. So be quiet.
Mm.
That kind of pressure, that kind of deterrence which is there
Mm.
is what nuclear weapons are meant to be. And that is the reason why since 1945, uh, many conflicts have happened, gone to the brink, and yet nuclear weapons have not been used. So these kind of, the hypes, the kind of statements, the kind of rhetoric being built up, and the kind of confusing statements, plus and minus and plus, very frequently, is all structured to put pressure not just on the Iranians, but for the rest of the world. Now, you imagine the pressure coming on the NATO countries, the pressure coming on the other Gulf allies. So that kind of pressure is coming up. What is happening? What are we really going to do? I mean, we need to be safe. So let us play safe. Let us not aggravate. So that pressure has been built up because of all these vague, conflicting statements coming at rapid fire kind of a system, that has put that pressure on all the countries involved or not involved to ensure that we stick to the line of negotiation.
Okay. Okay. So now between the United States, Israel, and Iran, each with
Mhm.
varying degrees of, CBRN, as you say, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear capabilities. What are the real red lines for CBRN use in a conflict situation?
Okay. Now, as far as nuclear, we just ruled it out, so that it's not likely to happen. So I will not play any red line here. But as far as chemical, biological weapons are concerned, now officially Israel is the only one which hasn't signed or ratified the Chemical Weapons Convention, and also the bio, and therefore possibility of them having or not having is open. As far as Iran is concerned, there has been a lot of speculation, a lot of intelligence reports that they have laboratories which have the capability to develop. They have been researching on various types of toxic substances like the aflatoxins, the anthrax, the smallpox variants, and so on. And they have also been testing on a lot of chemical weapons. In fact, the Novichok group of chemical nerve agents, which the Russians have pioneered, is also said to have been tested or developed in one of the laboratories in Iran. They have about 8 facilities where chemical and biological research is going on. A lot of them for pharmaceutical issues. But when I say pharmaceutical, when you need to test the efficacy of a drug, you need to subject it to the disease or to the chemical which you want to degrade. So, unless you have the subject against which you want to test this, you can't test it correctly. So, obviously, you need to first develop the subject, which is the toxic substance. So, to that extent, I think a lot of such research is possible. there have been very credible reports which have come out of names of facilities, of laboratories, of even scientific centers under universities where such kind of research is going on. A lot of them funded, a lot of them supported, a lot of them owned either by the IRGC or by the government of Iran. So, such facilities do exist. There have been reports of clandestine support on laboratory research between Russia, between China, and Iran in the past. And there have been some reports of North Korea assisting in certain things. So, we really don't know the level where they have reached. But it is, if it is available, then weaponizing it would be very simple. Uh, there have been reports of certain laboratories who are researching on the dispersal devices for such kind of substances, both biological and chemical. Now, Iran, the northwest part of Iran, was subjected to very deadly chemical attacks by Iraq during the Iraq-Iran war. And that actually made Iran very, very cautious. And Iran had signed the CWC at that time, the Chemical Weapons Convention and the Biological Weapons Convention. And they are uh, going to be a responsible country abiding by all that. But then when it comes to your survival, you need to have such countermeasures available with you. As far as the Israelis are concerned, again, the Israelis have the capabilities. Officially, they haven't signed the ratified the Chemical Weapons Convention, so that gives them a little leeway. Uh, but pressures are there. International pressures are always there to ensure that such things are not handled, or not used, or not deployed. But what has been worrying the Americans recently is that Iran has radioactive material. They have got uranium mines. So they have naturally occurring radioactive material also available within their country. And such material can be very easily used in dirty bombs, in radiological dispersal devices. And that is something which is a small little device with an explosive, which could be used anywhere, anywhere in the world. So, and Iran has been threatening that we will target all your people anywhere in the world if you continue to attack us, or destroy our population, or the urban areas and all that, or infrastructure. Now Trump has been threatening that we will blow up your bridges and we'll blow up your factories and things like that, which has been countered by Iran by saying that every place where you have any asset, including tourist assets, we will target it. So, how will they target it? Now, they can't use nuclear weapons to all such places. Their missiles may not reach all these places. But carrying such kind of devices, a small little thing, which can be assembled and used, is highly possible. While there are detection systems to detect radioactive substances moving from place A to place B, but then clandestine movements do take place. So there has been a known black market in radioactive substances in the past. Uh, so we cannot rule that kind of a thing out of this.
Also, Israel has had used, if I'm wrong, if I'm right, had
Sorry?
used Israel. Israel
Yeah.
didn't Israel use some chemical weapon called sarin, I think, SARIN, in Gaza previously when it was attacking.
No, no. Sarin is actually a nerve agent, and there have been no reports officially of any use of sarin in Gaza. Had there been credible reports, it would have created quite a different scenario. Because sarin is a very powerful nerve agent and can actually kill within minutes. That was one of the agents which was used by Iraq, by Saddam Hussein, against the Kurdish rebels in northwest of Iran. And so Iran is aware of the kind of substances which can come, which they can come against. And I'm sure they have taken the precautions of having protective measures or detection measures for such kind of chemicals. But I don't think, while Israel may have the capability of developing it, but I don't think it was used in Gaza. Uh, the worst thing which has been used till now, I would say, is something like tear gas or incapacitating agents of different kinds of industrial toxic chemicals which could be used. So those kind of things are possible to be used, but on a larger scale, I don't see anywhere that such things have been used by Israel in any of their surrounding areas, whether it is against Hezbollah or against the Hamas, uh, and neither in Iran.
Now, given the region's history, with chemical weapons use and proxy militia, how real is the risk of CBRN material being deployed indirectly through these non-state actors rather than direct state action in?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that is a possibility. It's a strong possibility because there can be a lot of deniability by the country. Like, as a country, I didn't use it, but I may have clandestinely supplied the material to proxies which are functioning on my directions to use it. Now, proxies are non-state actors. They are not really representing a country. So you cannot hold them against international conventions. Countries sign international conventions, but non-state actors don't sign any such conventions. So if anything is used by them, you cannot really hold them responsible against any of these conventions. But if it is proven that a substance used by a proxy has been supplied by country A, then country A can be taken to task. Now, in Chemical Weapons Convention, there is a punitive clause which is there. There is a verification clause and there is a clause where you can take action against the country if it is proven that the country has used something. But in a Biological Weapons Convention, there is no such clause, unfortunately. While Biological Weapons Convention came much earlier, it came in 1972, whereas the Chemical Convention came in 93. So the chemical convention built in this kind of a clause, but over the years, nobody has. I mean, while there is a lot of talk and debate and all that kind of a thing, the bio convention has not really got that thing incorporated as yet. So there are loopholes available. There are leeways available where you could, clandestinely supply the material to these proxy groups and have them use it. Because if you see where the proxy groups are, they are surrounding Israel from all sides. The Hezbollah in the north, the Hamas in the south, the Houthis on one side, and you can actually they are having common borders. They can actually target Israeli population directly. Whereas from Iran, if you want to target them, you have to use ballistic missiles, which would be a little far-fetched thing, and it would put Iran in a very difficult situation. So yes, the possibility of using bio or chemical weapons by any of these proxies is a possibility. There is a possibility of use of radiological weapons or dispersal devices, like the dirty bombs, to be used by these proxies. Again, a very high possibility. As far as bio is concerned, see, bio has two major problems. First is its dispersal is very difficult. It's not so easy because bio agents are highly susceptible to the weather conditions, to climatic conditions, and so on. And the second thing is bio agents take a period for gestation. Some agents can start showing symptoms in 2 days, 5 days, 12 days. Like COVID, we had about 12 to 15 days of manifestation period for the corona to develop within a person. So it's not an immediate kind of an action. While some strategists may feel that is a plus point because I can deploy it and let it take its course and not worry about it, and after a few days it will start showing effects where I'm quite safely away. So it works both ways. But then bio depends from person to person. Every individual's immunity sustainability is different. So what affects you may not affect me, or what affects me may not affect you. Whereas in a chemical kind of a thing, first, the results are immediate, and the second, everybody gets affected in the same manner. All those who are exposed will get affected in the same manner. So that is the advantage of chemical. And chemicals, unfortunately, today, including toxic industrial chemicals, which are available in tons and tons across the world, are something which can be easily accessed, and you don't require any rocket science to deploy them. You could use a drone, you could use just a bomb to disperse it, or something like that, and it's very easily possible. So availability, dispersibility, sustainability after release is all very easy for the use of chemical weapons, and therefore that is a strong possibility which can happen. Thankfully, it hasn't happened till now in this war, so we hope it doesn't come across. So yeah.
I think the entire world is hoping that there is a peaceful, the negotiations come to a peaceful end, and the world gets back again. All the economies get back again. I think it's a lot of economies are really suffering, except maybe for China and Russia, which are making, even US is making good deals
Yeah.
of its oil under the garb of this. But yeah, everyone is praying. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Thavle, for the very enlightening, very informative talks that I had with you, and hoping again to get back uh,
Thank
on
you so
the
much, and we
better than
hope this
peaceful.
war stops early.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.